Hi, this is Kat White, and in this video you'll learn how to use Audacity, a sound recording and editing program. First, we're going to take a look at Audacity. It is a free open source sound recording and editing program. You can get it online. If you go to audacity.sourceforge.net, you'll be able to download a copy of Audacity. It's available for both Windows and Mac, and for the real geeks out there, it's available for Linux. While you are downloading on this page, you should also download the MP3 encoder so that you can save your work as smaller MP3 files. So, to start off with, you should download Audacity to your computer and install it. Once you have Audacity installed, you'll open it like any program by going to your Start menu and choosing Audacity, and it will open. This is the main Audacity workspace. At the top, you have a series of control buttons, which should look familiar. These are very similar to what you find on most electronic devices. Record is the red dot. That's based on the old red light that used to appear on a camera to let people know that they were live. Play is, of course, the green arrow. Pause are the two vertical blue lines. Stop is not active right now, but stop is a yellow square. And then there are two buttons for going directly to the beginning of an audio recording or going all the way to the end. Down below in the large gray area, this is where you will see the audio recording when you record, and your tracks will appear down here. There's a couple of tips before you start working with Audacity. First, before you start, make sure that you have plugged in both your microphone and any headset that you'll be using. If you plug those in afterward, Audacity won't recognize them and you'll have to go back and plug them in anyway. So it's best to plug those in to start. Also, when you're going to be recording, do a test recording first. Don't just dive right into your main project. Do a test recording, listen to it, adjust your volume up at the top. There is an adjustment for your playback so that you can adjust how loud you hear your voice. And there is also an adjustment on the microphone so that you can adjust how loud your recording is. You'll notice that I have my recording turned all the way up. You may need to adjust yours louder or quieter depending on your particular voice. Now, in this section, we're going to actually record with Audacity so you can see how this works. Recording is very simple. You click on the red button, which is record, and then a timeline will appear, and the timeline will continue to extend across the screen to the right as you are recording. So, let's start off with a short recording. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. So there's my recording. As you could see, I started off by pressing the red button, and at the end I pressed the yellow stop button. You may need to press the blue pause button if, for example, you feel a sneeze coming on, or somebody comes in to talk to you and you need to stop the recording during. And then you can just click the record button again or unpause and the recording will continue. One note about recording: if you stop recording and need to start again, make sure that you put your cursor, that's the I bar there, make sure you put that after any recording that you do. Otherwise, it will begin to record at the beginning again and you'll hear your voice over top of itself. So if I needed to pick up and start recording again, I would put the cursor at the end, click on record, and start in on a second recording. 7 years ago, our forefathers brought forth, etc. And then click stop when you're done with the second recording. To see all of your recordings in one window, if you go to View, Fit in Window, that adjusts the horizontal so that you can see the width of both of your recordings. And in order to see vertically, go to View and click on Fit Vertically, and that will compress the image so that you can see all the tracks in one window. After you have finished recording your audio files, you're going to need to save. There are two types of saving that you're going to need to do: saving your project and exporting. First, we're going to save the project. Go to the File menu, click on Save Project As. You're going to get a pop-up message that warns you that your Audacity project is not an audio file. It's a project file. It contains raw data that you could use to create an audio file. You want to create an audio project to save all the raw data in case you need to export another file. So click on OK in the warning to let it know that you understand this is a project file. You're going to get a pop-up window that asks you for the title for your project. I've entered Little Lamb 2014. AUP indicates it's a file project. And then I'm going to click the Save button. Be patient while your project saves. After your project has finished saving, you can do one of two things. You can do some editing of your project, or you can immediately export. I'm going to do an export, and then I'll do some editing afterward. So now I'm going to do File, Export Audio. You can pick from several different kinds of audio files. I'm going to pick an MP3. That's why I downloaded the lame MP3 encoder. I'm going to export to my Audacity test folder, and I already have my file name entered, and I'm going to click on Save. It gives me a warning message that my tracks in the final audio file are going to be mixed down to 2 stereo tracks. So what you see here are 4 tracks, and those will become 2 in my final file. However, in the project file, I'll still have 4 tracks. And I can click on OK. Next, I get a metadata pop-up. I can put information in here if I wish. So for example, I can put my name in as artist, or I can just leave this all blank. And at the end, I can click on OK, and my MP3 is going to be exported. You see, it's a very quick process. And that's all there is to saving a project and then exporting the audio file. In this section, I'm going to show you how to edit audio tracks in Audacity. So if you notice, I have my 2 audio tracks that I have already recorded. The first one is Mary Had a Little Lamb, and the second one is the beginning of the Gettysburg Address. And what I would like to do is take out this silence from the beginning of Mary Had a Little Lamb, take out the empty tracks at the end, and then also take out the silence at the beginning of the Gettysburg Address, and then remove the section that I messed up badly at the end. So what I'm going to do is take out the first part here. So what I need to do is I need to highlight the part of the track that I want to delete. Now, this bit of audio editing, you're also going to be able to do this when you are making your video in Premiere Pro. So if you want to just leave silence in your presentation, you can, and then take it out in the video editor later. So I'm going to click, highlight the beginning of this track, and very simply all I'm going to do is hit the delete key on the keyboard. And there goes that bit of silence. And then I'm going to do the same at the end after the last word. I'm going to highlight and hit the delete key, and that bit of silence goes away. Now you'll notice that the Gettysburg Address starts a little bit farther to the right. It doesn't start right after Mary Had a Little Lamb anymore because I got rid of the silence. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and delete the silence at the beginning of the Gettysburg Address, right about there, and hit the delete key. Now, I still need to move this over, but I can't move this over when I am in selection mode using the I bar. So what I'm going to need to do is shift to what's called time shift below that, And when I'm in time shift mode, what that's going to do is allow me to actually move the audio tracks. And what I want that to do is I want to snug that up right to the end of Mary Had a Little Lamb, so that right after Mary Had a Little Lamb ends, the Gettysburg Address will begin. The last thing I'm going to do is tidy up the Gettysburg Address by going back to the selection tool. And I'm going to take out basically this long bit of garbagey stuff that I just completely messed up. And so I highlight that and hit delete. One note on playback during audio: you're going to hear your voice a lot. Trust me, you don't sound like you think you sound. Everybody always thinks their voice sounds better than what it does, because we have a head that makes us sound like we're nice and full and resonant, and then we hear ourselves and our voice always sounds thinner and more unpleasant, and it takes a while to get used to. Don't worry, by the end of this project you'll be much more comfortable with your voice. So now I'm going to play this back. I move the cursor to the beginning. I could also click on the skip to start button, and then I click the green play button.
Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. 77 years ago.
And now I'm going to save my project again. This time I could just hit Control S because I've already done a save as and given the project a name. And I'm going to do one more export. File, export audio. I've already chosen to export as an MP3 before. I'm going to keep all the same settings, so I'm going to just click on Save. And it tells me that the file already exists. I want to replace it. The answer is yes. And it gives me the warning about tracks being mixed down in the final project. That's fine, so I tell it OK. And I can change metadata again or not. I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to just click OK. And I wait patiently for the export. That's it, and that's all there is to recording and exporting in Audacity.